What's up, everybody? It's Pastor Kyle Crawford here, and I am the youth and young adult pastor at the Mount Rubidoux Seventh-day Adventist Church. If you're just joining us, we're doing a 21-day fast. That's right, a 21-day fast. And today is day 14, and today's topic is love that covers differences. One of the things that's crazy is, as human beings, we have a hard time gravitating to people who, as Kendrick Lamar would say, are not like us. We tend to gravitate to people who are like us, and we tend to distance ourselves from folk who are not like us. That's pretty much what was happening in the church in Rome when Paul wrote in Romans 12, verse 9 through 10, that love must be sincere, hate what is evil, cling to what is good, be devoted to one another in love, honor one another above yourselves. The church in Rome was in a bitter battle between what culture was better, what worship style was better, what practices were better. All of these things that caused rifts in the church were based on the differences between the Jews and the non-Jews. And they would go back and forth on so many issues. And so Paul writes the book of Romans, or the letter to the Roman church, letting them know, first and foremost, we're all one in Jesus Christ. But second of all, he says, listen, although we're different, verse 10 in chapter 12 says we still ought to be devoted to one another in love, honor one another above ourselves. Really what Paul is getting at is God created us differently. We all have different cultural practices. We all have different things that we like and things that we don't like, different preferences. We all have different preferences. But at the end of the day, we are supposed to love each other. We're not supposed to demonize each other because of our differences. We're not supposed to look down on each other because of our differences. We're supposed to love one another. In other words, we ought to celebrate the differences in all of us. God made us all unique. We may have similar cultures. We may have similar preferences, but God made us all unique. And we ought to love each other even though we're different. We should love each other even though we have a different perspective. Love each other even though we have different ways of worship that are meaningful to us. Love each other even though we have different cultures and different practices. Love each other even though we may have a different theology. Love each other even though we may have a different sports team that we like. Shout out to LA. We should love each other because God created us all in his image. And we ought to celebrate the differences that we all have, because our differences are what make us unique. And we all come together with all of our differences, with all of our variations. We truly reflect the image of God. So Paul says to the Roman church who's fighting over differences, be sincere in your love, hate what's evil, cling to what's good. Okay, but take it a step further. Be devoted to one another in love. Be devoted to the differences that you have, and love each other anyway, and honor one another above yourselves. Love transforms because love covers our differences. Stay tuned for more devotional thoughts with us as we continue in our 21-day fast entitled Love Transforms. And let us know in the chat, how does love cover differences in your life? How do you love people who are different, think different, do different things? Let us know in the chat, and join us tomorrow for another day in our Love Transforms 21-day fast.